Hi, friends. This is Three Girls, One VR. The three of us decided to get together and do a pre-recorded video where we're going to be responding to the One Deck Gone Wild tag. And the reason that we decided to do this together is because all three of us wanted to talk about our beloved Bangtan Tarot and do answers to this tag for this deck. So that's why we decided to do this as a group. There may only be 3 people on TarotTube who are even interested in watching this because this is again
We're all here.
this is our BTS themed tarot deck, and so you may not have an interest in seeing us talk at length about our BTS tarot deck, but that is what we're going to do. So this is a tag that was originated in a tarot Discord that some folks in the community are part of. Lots of people have been responding to this one, and it's been really fun to see everybody's responses. So we kind of wanted to do the same for our deck that we made, and this was Julie's idea, by the way.
It was. And, shout out to Robin from Toadstool Tarot, because he was the one that had said, oh, it'd be interesting if you did this with a deck that you created, because he did a VR using a deck that he created. Levi from Masculine Intuition Readings, he also did using Arcane Warrior Tarot, a deck he created. And so I was just like, wow, this is a great idea. And of course, but the first deck I thought of was Bangtan Tarot. So we thought that this would be a fun and fantastic video to record, given that we are discussing Bangtan Tarot, and it is also AANHPI month, which is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. All right, so shall we get started? There are 37 prompts, which we may or may not do all of, depending on.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
So we kind of have done the first one already, right?
We pretty much answered the first question.
We've answered this question.
Yeah.
So the second question is, what is your favorite set of minors, i.e. all the aces, all the threes, all the whatever?
Okay, so I went with the threes in this deck, because this one we'll come back to for another question, the 3 of Swords. But I just really like the they're just such joyful cards to look at. Like, it's the one suit where you've got people together, like it really highlights their relationships and how much they care about each other and how much they enjoy being together, and it just makes me smile. It's just but I also could have gone with the 4s and the 5s and the 6s and the 9s and the 2s.
I got 2 stacks out, and one of my stacks was the 3s because I knew Heather might pick the 3s, and so I also got out the stack of the 4s because I also love the 4s in this deck. I love our 4 of Cups. With be having regrets after drinking. I love the 4 of Pentacles with Taeyang holding all the Pokemon. It's so cute. I love the 4 of Swords. I love the 4 of Wands. I just love all of them. They just all make me so happy. So that's why I picked 4s.
So I picked the 7s because I just I think that the choices that we selected, the images are kind of a playful spin on some cards that are deemed a little bit have a negative slant, right? So like 7 of Wands, where you've got Jungkook like defending himself from was that Suga in in one of the Run BTS games, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just watched that episode the other day because it's like one of the funniest episodes of Run BTS that has ever been made. So,
and it's just, you can tell they're having so much fun, and so this is like a playful, just a playful rendition of that. And then same with like 7 of Swords. You have Suga here, and you've got the you've got the caption, "Suga fooled us, and we trusted him. We really trusted him." So, I mean, just it's just a playful kind of slant on some of these meanings. And like this 7 of Cups, I'm sorry, I think this is the most adorable freaking 7 of Cups ever of the group. It really is. I love it. So anyway, 7s, and then and then we have Namjoon with his plant. So yeah, that's why I chose the 7s. Although I could have picked any number of different sets of minors for sure.
Next question: what card reminds you to relax when it comes up? Did we all pick the same one?
I didn't pick the Four of Swords because I thought it was no. I didn't pick one at all because I panicked and went, well, it's going to be the Four of Swords, and then I was like, but the Four of Swords is so fucking obvious. Like you can cut this.
Okay, just a little on the nose, but come on.
Yeah, but so I did pick the Four of Swords, but then I put it away again.
No, I mean, come on now, like.
It is totally my answer.
Like look at how peaceful he's sleeping and how beautiful his skin looks. Like, oh my god, this is like rest rejuvenation.
Seriously, yeah.
Oh gosh, I love it so much.
Favorite representation of the color blue painting?
The one with Jungkook.
Mm-hmm.
In the soup, he's painting this beautiful scenery. On the. Where are they? They're kind of like in the woods, sort of in the mountains. Where exactly?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what the soup means, isn't it? Soup does mean woods.
Woods, something, yeah. And he's just looking at the scenery and deciding he's going to paint this masterpiece because that's what Jungkook does.
Because then Bob Ross came out, so
yeah. So I Sarah.
Oh, look at that. That's a good one.
Look at us, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
it's got loads of different color blues in it as well, which is I think because when I did this tag with another deck, that's exactly the same reason I picked that the card that I picked, because I like the contrast of the different blues.
Your favorite representation of X card, choose your own adventure.
This was so hard.
This was so easy for me. This was so easy for me.
Yeah,
I've talked about this so many times already.
Can we guess what it is?
Yeah, go on. Yes, I dare.
Could it be the Three of Swords?
It really could. Yeah, I love this card. This is not only like one of my favorite cards in the entire deck, but it's my favorite Three of Swords ever, bar none. It's like the only time in my whole tarot life where I've looked at a Three of Swords and I felt it, genuinely felt it. I love this card so much.
Yeah, that is Jin, right?
Yeah. Protecting his little
little
flower in his life.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Imploding around him.
I know.
Such a good video too. Anyway, I could have picked so many for this.
I could have picked so many.
But I actually picked the star just because this is another one that actually makes me very much feel the meaning of the card, because they are performing the song Microcosmos in this card, and that song like straight up saved my life during the pandemic. I feel like that was a really, really important song to me, and I listen to it all the time, and so this it means a lot to me.
Well, I went with more a shallow reasoning, which is just that. So one of the many, the Emperor. I mean, I'm not really about the Emperor card in general. It's a fine card. It's an okay card, whatever. But this is just complete vibe, complete mood, complete Namjoon, just everything about it. Everything, like, it's so good. Sorry. Okay, I'm done. And then we did talk about like the Seven of Cups. Like, I don't know what it is about this picture that I love so much.
It's Hobie with the little mustache and
they're just so cute.
So cute. Namjoon, he's in like this pastel pink and just looking just so cute. Like, and I feel like he doesn't usually wear something as this and like have such a whimsical look on his face. Like, this is like one of the only times I've kind of seen him like that, and I just think it's the most freaking adorable thing ever.
What card makes you feel nostalgic?
I could have picked any card, and it wouldn't have mattered, because the whole deck makes me feel nostalgic. Because we had so much fun creating this deck, and it was like just a whole
thing.
It's one of the best experiences of my life, creating this deck with you two, and the fun that we had, and the conversations and the craziness. And I think it's like really moved our friendship from being like three people who get on really well to three genuinely close friends, like ride or die friends. I think
it make me all like.
I know. Sorry. I know I'm going to cry.
It is
I
true.
do.
I totally feel it.
Every time I get this deck, like the whole deck is nostalgia for me. It's just the whole thing. I can't pick one card.
That's a good answer.
Now follow that, you two.
I can't. Mine's
No,
like,
well, I mean, like I had picked like the Six of Cups, which is adorable, but also it makes me nostalgic for something that never happened for me, because it makes me wish that I had been Army from the beginning. Like, I feel like it's such a ridiculous thing to say, but I feel like I wasted so much of my life not hating these guys. Number 7, what card shifts your perspective?
I thought we were so deliberate about the choices that we made. I do actually struggle with this, but I ended up going with the Lovers, just because I have a tendency to get caught up in the name of the card and think about the Lovers in terms of relationships and very specific types of relationships, and often on the Lovers we do see those kind of relationships, and we very deliberately chose a card that isn't about that kind of intimate
relationship.
It's more platonic, and the love that you have for all the people that you're not romantically involved with.
I picked Judgment just because this to me, like judgment has its usual meanings, but this to me really gets at a meaning of judgment where the shift that you go through has to do with specifically self-acceptance and self-love, and that being the transformation that you undergo is a transformation of truly accepting yourself and choosing to be yourself. And not to say that isn't obviously always part of the Judgment card, but this like really kind of specifically pinpoints that meaning of it for me, because it's from a specific song that is about that. And so that makes this a really important Judgment card to me, because it has some extra meanings to it, I feel like. Favorite animal that's represented?
Happy kitty.
Happy kitty.
See, I'm an alpaca. Because I want one of these. These are so freaking cute.
A stuffed one or a real one?
A real one. I want a real one. That is I like alpacas. They're dead cute, and they don't spit, and their wool is great for crocheting with.
Multifunctional.
Yeah.
Very cool. Can't go wrong.
Which court card reminds you the most of Heartbreak? I picked this one only because in writing the guidebook, I specifically referenced the song Blue Side. That's like what this card makes me think of that song specifically. And so because I think that like the Queen of Cups being about emotions, like it is also about accessing not just positive emotions but also negative emotions. And this is J-Hope, who has said before that he's sometimes had felt boxed in by his sort of overall cheerful, happy persona, and sometimes felt like he couldn't fully express the darker sides of himself. And that song Blue Side is what kind of started to take him there. And so that's a very roundabout way of getting to that question, but that's what I came up with.
I picked this one, but not because of the name of the card, but just because I think he looks really sad in this card. I think like he just looks sad. His eyes look sad, and he's got his little thing, like, and for me, that's what I always come back to with Heartbreak. I think it's one of those things that we're supposed to just deal with and carry on with life and still be out there doing things and living our lives and being happy and yay, life's wonderful and blah blah blah. And it's all the pain of heartache is internal and something that you kind of have to just go through. And I think that's what he looks like to me.
Which card constantly follows you / appears from this deck?
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything for this one either.
Well, my stalker card from this deck is, for some reason, the Ace of Swords.
Oh, interesting.
The Ace of Swords totally stalks me in this deck. I don't know why, but I get it all the time. So if you made this deck a meal, what would it be?
Ramen, right?
I mean, like, we literally have cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously. Now, granted, there's Mandu in the deck too.
I was gonna say,
but
I would even go a step further and invite them over for a meal at my mom's place, because she makes like the best mandu. And any type of noodle you want, She is fabulous. So
Can I come for a meal at your mum's place, please?
yeah, come on over. Come
Never
on.
mind the deck. Can I come?
She's just amazing. She's just such a great cook. So, but like her mando, like this is a nostalgia card for me for sure because like it's one of her my favorite recipes of hers is mandel, and she knows it's a favorite of mine. So whenever it's my birthday, she makes it for me, or around the holidays if I ask for it. But it is so time consuming that I often feel bad asking her to make it because it just she makes it from scratch.
Yeah.
And so yeah. Anyway,
What is this deck's favorite book?
I did not choose a favorite book, like a particular book, but the first thing that popped into my mind was like, I bet you this deck would love a book of poetry. Just poetry being very kind of lyrical in nature, just and the fact that all 7 of these members are just so great in terms of lyrics and performing them and expressing story through that kind of more poetic means. So I would say poetry.
Oh, see, I would say some kind of like coffee table music hall of fame type.
Ooh, yeah.
That is like the history of music and all the different influences that have contributed to their style of music.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to travel anywhere, where would you take this deck?
New Orleans. What? That's literally the first thing I wrote down. Because I want to. Well, I've always wanted to go to New Orleans. Haven't gone yet. Plan to. And I just feel like this deck would, want a new experience. I don't know. Well, this deck has never been to New Orleans, obviously, because I've never been to New Orleans. I want it to experience like it's witchy, voodoo vibe and alligator tours and good, French, Cajun cooking and.
My answer is really obvious. Because I picked South Korea, but that's also the place I want to most go right now in the world. So.
Where does the deck want to go?
So I said South Korea for this one. I always feel like they're home with family.
Something you would change about the deck?
I'm not gonna lie, I literally put nothing because it's perfect and we worked really damn hard on it.
I said I wish this deck would be more easily accessible to people.
That's
not just
publishable.
Publishable.
No.
Army, like, okay, this our little, stash that we've got for our army. It's like
tiny print run,
tiny print run that we managed to,
with a shady printer. Which card would you hang in blank room of the house?
See, I didn't pick any, not because I don't like them, but because I have this really weird thing where I don't really like to hang art of people because I have this weird, it makes me uncomfortable. It just makes me uncomfortable. I never had posters on my wall when I was a kid or anything. It just makes me uncomfortable.
Really? Interesting.
This is now making me feel bad about myself and my little BTS shrine.
So I chose the 9 of Cups to hang. And I would hang this above Matt's bar cart.
That's really cool.
I love that.
A collection of different liqueurs and whatever. I don't drink. I'm allergic. However, I think this would be lovely above his bar cart.
I might hang this one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. This one makes me really happy. Something that sets the deck apart. We made it.
We made it.
Yeah, I think that was my main answer. Was like, Also, the happies. We have the happy cards.
Yes, that's true.
From other decks. Yeah, we didn't just want a squirrel, happy squirrel. No.
No.
No. We needed 7.
If the deck could have one superpower, what would it be?
I wrote down eradicating racism and hate. But again, because it's the people, it's not the deck. I keep doing it.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking too. It was like if it has one superpower, it's filling the world with joy and bringing happiness to people.
Yeah. Through music.
Who would you gift a copy of the deck to if you could?
I mean, my obvious answer would have been you two, but you have one.
All the armies around the world.
All the
who are
armies
not
around the
this
world.
miracle. What's the deck's biggest fear?
I wrote the deck is fearless. It has no fear.
See, I had, and I might be stealing Sarah's thunder because she's probably going to go in a very similar direction.
Mhm.
But I know when we talked about the
Death card.
death card, and we talked about Black Swan and the idea of losing their ability to sing and dance and create music and that kind of stuff. That was the first thing that came to mind for me for this.
If the deck had its own collection, what would it collect?
Instruments.
I'm like, cause figurines,
Yeah.
Mattresses, apparently.
mattresses and diffusers,
Diffusers, yeah.
modern art, like draw 3 random cards and fuck, marry, kill, or bed, wed, behead.
So I picked the Namjoon as the emperor to marry because that guy looks like he's got his shit together. I picked Justice to fuck or bed, however you want to put it, because Yoongi, and why wouldn't you? And I picked Jin as the Knight of Wands to kill because I'm killing anybody who's setting a fire that early in the morning.
Perfect.
Those are mine.
Who is the deck in love with?
Army.
Army, yeah.
Obviously. How old does the deck believe it is?
It's young at heart.
Unless we're talking about Yoongi, who truly believes he's
like an old man.
Except for Yoongi, who's like, like complete like harabuchi, yeah.
Who is the deck's father?
I wrote down Bang Nim and Pixie's love child.
Oh,
It's the father of the deck.
What is the gender of the deck, or does the deck identify as a gender? I'm going to say genderless because, like, very specifically, when BTS created characters to represent themselves, they made them specifically genderless, and I think that's really cool. So I'm going to say genderless.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm. Does any card remind you of someone? Who does it remind you of?
I mean, I wrote down the whole deck reminds me of us.
Which card in the deck do you feel most represents you right now?
So I don't think mine is a huge surprise, actually, given all of that, but I went with the 5 of Cups because it's just, there's a lot going on right now for me emotionally. So.
Yeah.
I chose the 4 of Pentacles because right now I am just in a space where I have just been really kind of enjoying my doll coven and having a lot of fun with that. There's a doll Discord I am now a part of. And so when I look at this image, this is how I feel about my doll coven. This is how I feel about like the things in my room. I'm feeling much gratitude and just loving what I have.
I'll say 2 of Swords just because this card has been stalking me, and not from this deck, but in the work that I've been doing with the other deck that I'm currently working with. The 2 of Swords has been seriously stalking me. So I will say 2 of Swords. Which cards in this deck make you laugh?
Okay, I chose this 8 of Pentacles only just because of the memory of, not so much like
Sarah losing her mind.
Yeah, Sarah just
yeah.
with like the obsession of having to have the 8 bracelets. And so girl literally learned to Photoshop the shit out of this image to get this bracelet on his hand. Beautiful work, by the way. Beautiful work.
Very well done.
Yeah. So every time I pull this, I can't help but chuckle at the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears, and the work that went into the masterpiece that is this 8 of Pentacles with these 8 bracelets. Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, I appreciate your appreciation of that. So, like, that's just one small example of the many ways in which we completely lost our minds.
Yeah.
Not just me. I wasn't the only one. We all completely.
No, we all did. No,
lost
absolutely.
So yeah. This one always is the one that makes me laugh the hardest. Like this makes me laugh so hard I can't even like it's hysterical to me. So yeah.
I picked the 7 of Wands.
Oh, so
because
good.
This run BTS. makes me cry
Oh,
with
it's
laughter,
so good.
especially at the end when they all go against Jungkook and he still wins.
Which card in this deck makes you feel calm / seen / emotional?
I said entire deck again. I know it's very unoriginal, but I just feel like it's not really one card as it is like the entire deck makes me feel just seen in terms of representation, in terms of culture and heritage, also just emotional in terms of like the memories of our collaboration and yeah, just all of that attached to it. So I had a hard time picking one card in particular.
One that is really particularly important to me is this card, because again, like BTS sort of like came to me during the pandemic, and like one of the first like BTS content things that I really got into watching and really made me fall in love with them was the first season of In the Soup. This card and like that show and what was going on in this moment in this card in the show, like all of that was a rough time, and that show brought me a lot of comfort. So, what is the deck's favorite tarot deck? These guys don't know shit about tarot.
If I had to choose a deck for them, I would, the one that I wrote down was actually Dreaming Way Tarot. Because not only is the creator Korean,
Yeah.
also I think they would really enjoy like the fashion sense in that deck. It's got some quirky like fashion going on, and the drawing style is very much, it feels very manhwa, you know, and so I think they would enjoy that one. That's one I would maybe choose for them.
I will say that I actually did once in a video talk about which deck I would pick for each of the 7 members of BTS, and so I will link that up in the cards. What is the outlier card of the deck? I don't think it has one.
I don't think it has one either. Like if people could see the amount of effort that went into picking every single card and the amount of, some of them were really easy and we picked an image and it was great and we moved on. And some of them we went through 4 or 5 different images to get exactly the right one. I think every single one is fits with the overall aim that we had for this deck and everything else. I just don't think there is one.
Last question. What is the deck's favorite spread? I don't think this deck has a favorite spread personally, because like I have used this deck for everything, and this deck has performed for me in every situation in which I have ever used it. And so for me, reading for other people, like I've full on just pulled this deck out for all kinds of questions and put different kinds of spreads, and it always is great. So
I've actually used this deck to read for another person as well, you know, and I never read for other people.
No kidding.
Yeah, I read for my friend at work.
Nice. So this is on the note, but I would say, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think you could use this deck for any spread. There is a BTS spread that I did do once, like way back. And then the other one that I kind of thought of was, it's called the self-love spread. And this I also found on Instagram by Intero Bangtan Tarot. That's the author. And again, because that's one of the big kind of mission statements they have to ARMY, which is about self-love and self-acceptance. And so that's it. And it's a short spread. It's only like 3 or 4 prompts, and it's it's a good one. So
that is all of the prompts, or at least the ones that we decided to answer for purposes of this particular video. So thank you to anyone who is still hanging in there, watching the 3 of us talk at length about the tarot deck that we made and can't shut up about, because we love it so much. And thank you all so much for joining us. We will be back with our normal 3 girls, 1 deck stuff on Julie's channel coming up next. So hopefully you'll join us for that. And thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.